All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a world that affects all of us, but that most of us, thankfully, never see. It's this highly organized and honestly, surprisingly professional underground economy where our personal data is bought, sold, and, yeah, weaponized.
So, let me ask you a question. How much is your digital identity actually worth on the black market? It's a pretty startling thing to think about, but it is not a hypothetical. In this hidden economy, pretty much every piece of your digital life has a price tag. So what is it? Well, the answer might surprise you. It's both less than you'd think and a whole lot more. A social security number? It can go for as little as $1. And the reason is just simple economics. Massive data breaches have absolutely flooded the market, so there's a huge oversupply. But you'll see the prices start to climb, and climb fast, for assets that give a direct path to cash.
And here it is, the real prize, a verified high-limit Kraken crypto account. This can fetch over $1,000. See, this isn't just about stealing your identity anymore. This is about getting immediate, untraceable access to money. It's a huge flashing sign telling us exactly what these criminals are really after.
So how does this whole thing even work? I mean, this isn't some chaotic Wild West free-for-all. No, it's a sophisticated marketplace. It has its own rules, its own infrastructure, and tech that's all designed to build trust and efficiency among thieves.
The whole ecosystem is really built on the foundation of the dark web. It's this small, hidden corner of the internet you can only get to with special browsers like Tor, which, mask a user's identity and location. This is basically the storefront where data is the #1 currency.
And what's wild is that transactions here follow a really professional process. Tor guarantees anonymity. Payments are made with privacy-focused crypto. But the most important part, the real glue that holds it all together, is trust. To build that trust, these markets use escrow services and vendor ratings with user reviews. I mean, literally just like what you'd find on Amazon or eBay.
And they've had to evolve. At first, Bitcoin was king, but law enforcement got better and better at tracing transactions on its public ledger. So the market adapted. The smarter criminals have all moved over to privacy coins like Monero. Its transactions are obscured, making them almost impossible to trace. It's just a constant cat-and-mouse game.
But there's another, much more powerful layer to this economy. It's not just about selling your individual Netflix password. We're moving up the supply chain now, to the specialists who deal in something way bigger: wholesale access to entire corporate networks. They are called Initial Access Brokers, or IABs, and you should just think of them as the wholesalers of the cybercrime world. Their entire business model is to break into company networks, package up that access, and then sell it to the highest bidder, which is usually a ransomware gang.
And we're not just talking about selling a single password. No way. They are selling the absolute keys to the kingdom. Verified VPN credentials, footholds already set up by malware, even full domain admin access. That can give a buyer total control over a company's entire digital world.
And this right here explains exactly why these IABs are such a game changer. They create a division of labor. Ransomware groups can now just outsource the really hard, time-consuming part of breaking in. It lets them focus purely on deploying their ransomware and collecting the ransom. It just makes the whole criminal operation way more efficient. But all that efficiency, it comes at a cost. And this is the part where this abstract digital marketplace crashes into the real world, with consequences that are often, well, catastrophic.
Let's just look at the Change Healthcare breach from February 2024. It all started with one single compromised credential. It got them into a server that didn't have multi-factor authentication, exactly the kind of thing an IAB sells. The attackers then spent 9 days, moving silently through the network, learning the systems before stealing 6 terabytes of data and essentially shutting down a huge part of the US healthcare system. The impact was just historic.
And look, this was not a one-off thing, not even close. According to Verizon's latest big report on data breaches, stolen credentials, the main product in this underground economy, are a factor in 22% of all data breaches. Think about that. Nearly 1 in every 4 major breaches is being fueled directly by this marketplace.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak, right? But this isn't a one-sided story. As sophisticated as this whole criminal economy has become, there is a global, coordinated fight to take it apart piece by piece.
Because here's the thing. For all its clever tech, this whole ecosystem has vulnerabilities. And a lot of them are human. And law enforcement agencies all over the world are getting much, much better at exploiting them.
And we're seeing some huge wins. Just in the past year, you had global operations that took down Leakbase, a marketplace with over 142,000 members, and they also dismantled Tycoon 2FA, which was a huge phishing platform built specifically to get around multi-factor authentication. These are not small victories. They are major hits to the criminal supply chain.
Now, takedowns like that are great against obvious criminals, but the fight for data security gets a lot more complicated, a lot more philosophical, when we start talking about the huge data sets held by legitimate places, like governments or universities.
And this brings us to a really core dilemma. On one hand, there's the fear that attackers could take large, supposedly anonymous data sets and basically reverse engineer them to figure out who specific people are. But the argument on the other side is that if you apply really aggressive privacy tools, you can end up making the data so inaccurate that it becomes useless for the important research it was collected for in the first place.
And so that leaves us with a really tough question at the end of the day. As we fight the criminals who want to steal our data, are we accidentally creating new problems in our attempts to protect it? In a world that is completely driven by data, is perfect privacy even possible anymore? And at what point does the cure become worse than the disease?